Something is happening to you right now that you cannot fully explain. You feel it in the spaces between your thoughts. You feel it in the way your old life no longer fits, like clothing you have outgrown but keep reaching for out of habit. You feel it in the strange restlessness that wakes you at 3 a.m, not with anxiety exactly, but with a knowing. A quiet, persistent knowing that something enormous is shifting beneath the surface of everything you thought you understood about yourself and about this world. And if you found this, if these words are reaching you right now in this exact moment, it is not by accident. Nothing about this is accidental, because what is happening to you is not random. It is not a crisis. It is not something breaking. It is something breaking open. And there is a difference between those two things that will change everything once you truly understand it. You are entering the greatest awakening of your life right now. Not someday, not after you fix yourself, not after you read the right book or find the right teacher or finally get your circumstances to line up. Right now, in the mess of it, in the confusion of it, in the raw, uncomfortable, beautiful unraveling of it. This is it. And the fact that it does not look the way you expected it to look is precisely what makes it real. Most people think awakening looks like light. They think it looks like peace and clarity and some blissful state where everything suddenly makes sense. And yes, there are moments like that. But what no one tells you is that genuine awakening, the kind that actually transforms your life from the roots up, almost always begins in darkness. It begins in the dismantling. It begins in the moment when everything you built your identity around starts to tremble and you cannot figure out why. Your relationships shift. Your interests change. Things that used to excite you feel hollow. People you once connected with deeply now feel like they exist in a different frequency, and you start to wonder if something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Let that land for a moment. Nothing's wrong with you. What is happening is that the version of you that was constructed by conditioning, by fear, by the expectations of others, by the limited beliefs you inherited before you were old enough to question them, that version is dissolving. And dissolution feels like loss before it reveals itself as liberation. Think about what happens in nature. Before a seed becomes a tree, it has to crack open. Before the caterpillar becomes the butterfly, it does not simply grow wings. It liquefies. It becomes formless. Inside the chrysalis, the caterpillar literally digests itself. Every structure it had, every identity it carried, every way it moved through the world dissolves into a kind of biological chaos. And from that chaos, from that apparent destruction, something entirely new organizes itself. Not an improved caterpillar, something that can fly. That is what is happening inside you right now. And the reason it feels so disorienting is because you are trying to understand a butterfly process with a caterpillar mind. You are trying to make sense of transformation using the very framework that is being transformed. And that framework, that old operating system, does not have a category for what you are becoming. So it labels the experience as wrong, as broken, as something to fix. But you are not broken. You are being reorganized at a level so fundamental that your conscious mind cannot keep up with the process. Here is what changes everything. Quantum physics has shown us something extraordinary about the nature of reality. At the subatomic level, particles do not exist in a definite state until they are observed. Before observation, They exist in what physicists call a superposition, a state of pure potential where all possibilities coexist simultaneously. It is only when consciousness interacts with this field of potential that reality collapses into a specific experience. The observer does not just witness reality, the observer participates in creating it. Now sit with that for a moment. If the fundamental building blocks of everything in the physical universe exist as pure potential until consciousness gives them form, then what does that tell you about the nature of your own experience? What does that tell you about the relationship between what you believe and what you see? What does that tell you about the power of the internal shift you are going through right now? It tells you that the awakening happening inside you is not just a personal psychological event. It is a restructuring of the very field from which your reality emerges. When your consciousness shifts, when the lens through which you observe life fundamentally changes, the reality you collapse into being changes with it. Not metaphorically, not as a nice idea, as a function of how the universe actually operates at its most fundamental level. This is why your old life is falling apart. Not because you failed, not because the universe is punishing you, but because the consciousness that created that life is evolving, and the reality it was generating can no longer sustain itself against the new frequency you are beginning to hold. Your old reality is not being taken from you. It is being released by you, by the deeper you, the one beneath the personality, beneath the story, beneath the fear. That deeper intelligence knows exactly what it is doing, even when the surface mind is terrified. And the terror is real. Let us not pretend otherwise. Awakening is not comfortable. It is not meant to be comfortable. Comfort is what the old self craves because comfort means predictability. And predictability means the ego gets to survive another day. The ego, that constructed sense of self that you have mistaken for who you actually are, is fundamentally a survival mechanism. It does not care about your growth. It does not care about your potential. It cares about keeping things the same, because sameness equals safety in its operating logic. If this is resonating with you, if you feel that quiet knowing as you listen, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so we can continue this journey together. So when awakening begins to dissolve the ego's grip on your identity, the ego does what any threatened entity does. It fights back. It generates fear. It generates doubt. It whispers that you are losing your mind. It tells you to go back. It tells you that this is dangerous. It tells you that the people who seem content with their unexamined lives have it right, and you are the one making a mistake. It pulls up every insecurity you have ever had and parades them in front of you as evidence that you should stop this process immediately. But here is what the ego cannot tell you, because it does not know. It cannot tell you what is on the other side. It has never been there. It only knows the territory it has mapped, and the territory you are moving into is unmapped. It is new, and the ego interprets the unknown as threat, always, without exception. That is its function. But your deeper awareness, the consciousness that is driving this entire awakening, it knows the unknown not as threat, but as possibility, as potential, as the very field from which new realities are born. So the question becomes, which voice do you listen to? The one that says go back, or the one that says keep going? The one rooted in fear, or the one rooted in knowing? And notice, I did not say the one rooted in certainty. Knowing and certainty are not the same thing. Certainty is the ego's demand for guarantees before it will take a step. Knowing is the body's quiet recognition of truth before the mind can explain it. You feel knowing in your chest, in your gut, in the strange peace that sometimes exists right alongside the fear. You do not think your way to knowing. You drop into it. And right now, if you are honest with yourself, you know something is changing. You know you cannot go back to who you were. You know that the discomfort you are feeling is not a sign that you are on the wrong path, but a sign that you are finally, after perhaps a lifetime of sleepwalking, on the real one. Let me take you deeper into what is actually happening during this process, because understanding the mechanics of it will help you navigate it with more grace and less resistance. Your brain, your physical brain, is a pattern recognition machine. From the moment you were born, it has been building neural pathways based on repeated experiences. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every behavior you engage in strengthens specific neural connections. Over time, these connections become so well established that they run automatically. You do not have to think about how to think. Your brain does it for you, following the grooves that have been carved by years of repetition. This is incredibly efficient for survival, but it creates a problem for transformation. Because those neural pathways do not just process information, they filter it. They determine what you notice and what you ignore. They shape your perception of reality before you are even aware that perception is happening. In other words, you do not see reality as it is. You see reality as your neural conditioning allows you to see it. You see a version of the world that confirms what you already believe, because your brain is literally wired to seek confirmation and filter out contradiction. This is what neuroscientists call the reticular activating system, and what quantum physicists might describe as the observer effect operating at the macroscopic level of human experience. Your beliefs are not passive descriptions of reality. They are active instructions to your brain about what to look for, what to amplify, and what to delete from your conscious awareness. You are, in a very real sense, hallucinating your reality based on the program running in your nervous system. Now here is where this connects to your awakening. When the deeper intelligence within you initiates a genuine shift in consciousness, it does not just change your thoughts. It begins to rewire the neural architecture itself. Old pathways that supported limiting beliefs start to weaken. New pathways that can hold expanded awareness start to form. And during this transition period, during this neurological renovation, your experience of reality becomes unstable. Things that used to make sense stop making sense. Your emotional responses become unpredictable. You might cry for no apparent reason. You might feel waves of inexplicable joy followed by crushing heaviness. You might feel like you are simultaneously falling apart and coming together. I want to pause here and ask you something. What is the one belief about yourself that you can feel dissolving right now? The one that used to feel like absolute truth but is starting to lose its grip? Share it in the comments, because naming it is part of releasing it. This is not dysfunction. This is neuroplasticity in service of evolution. Your brain is literally reorganizing itself to support a higher order of consciousness. And the turbulence you feel is the transitional chaos between the old configuration and the new one. Just like the caterpillar in the chrysalis, just like the seed cracking open, the disintegration is not the opposite of growth. It is the prerequisite for it. And your body is involved in this process in ways that most people completely overlook. Awakening is not just a mental event. It is a somatic event. It happens in your tissues, in your nervous system, in the cellular memory that your body has been carrying for years, perhaps for generations. Emotions that were never fully processed, traumas that were stored rather than released, tensions that became so chronic you forgot they were there. All of this begins to surface during awakening, not to torment you, to leave you. The body stores what the mind cannot handle. This is well established in trauma research. When an experience is too overwhelming to process in the moment, the nervous system encodes it as a pattern of tension, a held breath, a clenched jaw, a tightness in the chest, a knot in the stomach. And that pattern stays active, running in the background, consuming energy, shaping your posture, influencing your emotions, filtering your perception, until something creates the conditions for it to finally complete its cycle and release. Awakening creates those conditions. The expansion of consciousness that you are experiencing right now is like sunlight reaching into the basement of your being, illuminating everything that has been stored in the dark. And as that stored material comes to the surface, it does not come as a neat intellectual memory. It comes as sensation, as emotion, as physical discomfort, as the sudden urge to cry or scream or shake. Your body is not betraying you when this happens. Your body is healing. It is doing what it has been waiting to do, perhaps for your entire life. So if you have been experiencing strange physical symptoms during this period, unexplained fatigue, changes in sleep patterns, digestive shifts, headaches, heart palpitations that your doctor cannot find a cause for, sensitivity to foods or environments that never bothered you before, understand that your body is recalibrating. It is shedding the physical residue of the old consciousness to make room for the new one. And the more you can meet these experiences with presence rather than panic, with curiosity rather than resistance, the more smoothly the process unfolds. Breathe into that for a moment. Just pause and take one conscious breath. Feel your body right now. Notice what is present, not to fix it, not to change it, just to acknowledge it. To say to your body, I see you, I feel you, I trust you. That simple act of conscious attention is more powerful than you realize. Because attention is not passive. Attention is creative. Where you place your attention, you place your energy. And where you place your energy, you shape reality. This brings us to something crucial that most people misunderstand about awakening. They think it is something that happens to them. They think it is an event, a moment, a sudden flash of enlightenment that transforms everything in an instant. And while there can be catalytic moments, peak experiences that crack the door open, genuine awakening is not an event. It is a process. It is an ongoing, moment-by-moment practice of choosing consciousness over unconsciousness, of choosing presence over autopilot, of choosing the unknown over the familiar. And this is where it gets challenging, because the familiar is seductive. The old patterns, even the painful ones, have a gravitational pull that is almost magnetic. You know the shape of your suffering. You know the contours of your limitations. There is a strange comfort in the known, even when the known is making you miserable. The ego would rather be right about its story of limitation than risk being wrong about its story of potential. It would rather stay in a prison it has mapped then step into a freedom it cannot predict. This is why so many people begin to awaken and then pull back. They touch the edge of transformation, feel the vertigo of the unknown, and retreat into the familiar. They go back to the relationship that was not working. They go back to the job that was draining them. They go back to the beliefs that were keeping them small. Not because those things are good for them, but because they are known, and the nervous system, in its most primitive function, equates known with safe. But you, the fact that you are still here, still listening, still leaning into this, tells me something about you. It tells me that the pull of your awakening is stronger than the pull of your conditioning. It tells me that something in you has already crossed a threshold that cannot be uncrossed. You might still feel the tug of the old world. You might still have days where you doubt everything, but there is a part of you that knows, with a certainty that transcends logic, that going back is no longer an option, not because you cannot, but because you will not. Because the truth, once seen, cannot be unseen, and you have seen too much to pretend you have not. So let us talk about what this awakening is actually moving you toward, not in abstract spiritual terms, but in practical, lived experience terms. What does life actually look like on the other side of this process? First, your relationship with yourself fundamentally changes. The constant inner critic, that voice that has narrated your inadequacy for as long as you can remember, begins to lose its authority. Not because you silence it through force, but because you see it for what it is. A program. A pattern, a recording that has been playing on loop since childhood. And when you see it as a program rather than as truth, it loses its power over you. You do not have to fight it. You do not have to argue with it. You simply stop believing it. And in that moment of disbelief, of withdrawing your consciousness from the pattern begins to dissolve. Not all at once, layer by layer, but the direction is unmistakable. Second, your perception of time shifts. In the old consciousness, you lived primarily in the past and the future, replaying what happened, rehearsing what might happen. The present moment was just a brief corridor between memory and anticipation. But as awakening deepens, the present moment expands. It becomes richer, more textured, more alive. You start to notice things you have never noticed before. The quality of light, the feeling of air on your skin, the miracle of your own breathing. And in this expanded present, something remarkable happens. The anxiety that was generated by future thinking and the depression that was generated by past dwelling begin to lose their substrate. They do not have the ground to stand on when you are genuinely here, genuinely now. Third, your relationship with other people transforms. This is perhaps the most visible and sometimes the most painful aspect of awakening. Because as your frequency changes, your resonance changes. And relationships that were built on the old frequency, on shared wounds, on mutual limitation, on unconscious contracts to keep each other small, these relationships begin to strain. Some will evolve. The people who are ready to grow alongside you will rise to meet the new version of you, but some will fall away. And this is not a failure of love. It is love in its deepest form. The recognition that two beings can honor each other most by allowing each other to follow their own path, even when those paths diverge. This is one of the most difficult aspects of awakening, and I want to honor that. Losing people, or feeling like you are losing people. During a time when everything else is already uncertain can feel devastating. You might feel lonely. You might feel misunderstood. You might wonder if the cost of awakening is too high. And in those moments, I want you to remember something. You are not losing people. You are losing the versions of those relationships that were built on a foundation that is no longer true for you. And what replaces them, in time, are connections rooted in authenticity rather than accommodation, in truth rather than performance, in mutual growth rather than mutual stagnation. These new connections, when they arrive, will feel like coming home in a way you have never experienced before. Tell me in the comments, what is the one relationship or pattern in your life that you can feel shifting right now as part of this process? Sometimes simply acknowledging the shift out loud gives it permission to complete itself. Fourth, your relationship with reality itself transforms. This is the quantum piece. As your consciousness evolves, as the observer within you shifts, the reality you observe shifts with it. Synchronicities increase, not because the universe suddenly starts sending you signs, but because your expanded awareness can now perceive the patterns and connections that were always there but were filtered out by your old perceptual framework. Opportunities appear that seem to come from nowhere. Solutions to problems that felt impossible suddenly become obvious. The flow of life becomes more navigable, not because the river changes, but because you stop fighting the current. And here is something subtle but profound. You begin to notice that your internal state and your external circumstances are not separate systems. They are one system. When you shift internally, your external world reorganizes to match, not through magical thinking, not through the oversimplified version of manifestation that says just think positive thoughts and everything you want will appear. That is ego spirituality. That is the mind trying to use consciousness as a tool for getting what the personality wants. Real manifestation, the kind that emerges from genuine awakening, works differently. It does not start with what you want. It starts with what you are. It starts with the frequency you embody, the state of being you inhabit, the quality of consciousness you bring to each moment. And from that state of being, reality organizes itself in ways that the strategic mind could never have planned. The outcomes are often better than what you would have chosen from the limited perspective of your old consciousness, because the intelligence that orchestrates reality from the quantum level up is infinitely more creative than the human mind operating in survival mode. This is what it means to move from trying to create your reality to allowing your reality to emerge from the truth of who you are. It is a fundamental shift from effort to alignment, from pushing to receiving, from controlling to trusting. And it requires something that the ego finds almost impossible: surrender. Not surrender as defeat, not surrender as giving up. Surrender as the conscious release of the illusion that you were ever in control in the way you thought you were. Surrender as the recognition that the same intelligence that beats your heart, that grows your fingernails, that heals your wounds without your conscious direction, that same intelligence is orchestrating the larger patterns of your life with a wisdom that your thinking mind cannot comprehend. Feel into that for a moment. The same force that turns an acorn into an oak tree, that organizes trillions of cells into the miracle of your body, that keeps planets in orbit and galaxies spinning. That force is not separate from you. It is not outside of you looking down. It is the very fabric of your being. It is what you are made of. It is what you are. And awakening is simply the process of remembering this. Not as a concept, not as a belief, as a lived, felt, embodied reality. And this is where practice becomes essential, because understanding this intellectually is not the same as knowing it in your bones. You can read every book on consciousness. You can watch every video on quantum physics and spirituality. You can nod along with every insight and still be living from the old program. Because the program does not live in your intellect. It lives in your nervous system. It lives in the automatic reactions that fire before your conscious mind even registers what is happening. It lives in the tension patterns in your body, in the emotional defaults that run when you are triggered, in the habitual thoughts that loop through your mind when you are not paying attention. So the practice is not about acquiring more information. It is about creating the conditions for your nervous system to update, for your body to release what it has been holding, for your automatic patterns to be interrupted long enough for new patterns to form. And the most powerful tool for this is deceptively simple. Awareness. Conscious, non-judgmental, present moment awareness. When you bring awareness to a pattern without trying to change it, something paradoxical happens. The pattern begins to change on its own, not because you forced it, but because patterns require unconsciousness to sustain themselves. They are like programs that run in the background of a computer. They only have power when you do not know they are running. The moment you bring them into the light of conscious awareness, they lose their autonomy. They become visible. And what is visible can be chosen or released. What is invisible runs you without your consent. This is the practice. Not meditation as escape. Not mindfulness as another item on your self-improvement checklist. But the radical, ongoing, moment-by-moment practice of noticing. Noticing your thoughts without believing them. Noticing your emotions without being consumed by them. Noticing your body without trying to fix it. Noticing the stories your mind tells about who you are and what is possible without accepting them as gospel. Just noticing, just witnessing, just being the awareness in which all of this content arises and dissolves. And here is what makes this practice so revolutionary. The awareness that notices is not affected by what it notices. The sky is not damaged by the storms that pass through it. The ocean is not harmed by the waves on its surface. And the consciousness that you fundamentally are is not diminished by the thoughts, emotions, and experiences that move through it. When you rest as that awareness, even for a moment, you touch something that the ego can never touch. You touch the part of you that was never wounded, that was never lost, that was never broken. The part that has been quietly watching this entire human experience unfold with a patience and a love that defies description. That is who you are awakening to. Not a better version of your personality, not an upgraded ego with spiritual accessories. The awareness itself, the consciousness that precedes thought, that underlies form, that exists before the story of you begins and will exist after it ends. This is not a philosophy. This is your direct experience, available to you right now, in this breath, if you are willing to stop looking for it and start noticing that it has been here all along. Let me share something with you about the nature of this process that might bring some comfort during the difficult passages. Awakening does not happen in a straight line. It happens in spirals. You will have periods of expansion where everything feels clear, where you feel connected, where insights flow and life seems to organize itself around your highest good. And then you will have periods of contraction where the old patterns resurface, where doubt returns, where you feel like you have lost everything you gained. These contractions are not failures. They are not signs that you are going backward. They are the spiral returning to familiar territory at a higher level of awareness. Each time you revisit an old pattern, an old wound, an old fear, you are not back where you started. You are meeting it from a new vantage point. You are seeing it with eyes that have been changed by everything you have experienced since the last time it surfaced. And each pass through the spiral dissolves another layer, reveals another dimension, frees another piece of your energy from the grip of the past. So when the darkness returns, and it will, do not interpret it as proof that the awakening was not real. Interpret it as proof that it is deepening. The deeper the roots of a tree grow into the dark earth, the higher its branches can reach into the light. You cannot have one without the other. The depth of your shadow work determines the height of your illumination. And the courage to face what lives in your basement, in the unexamined corners of your psyche, in the places you have been afraid to look. That courage is not separate from the awakening. It is the awakening. There is a concept in physics called coherence. When waves are coherent, they are aligned. Their peaks and valleys match up, and they reinforce each other, creating a signal that is exponentially more powerful than the individual waves on their own. A laser is coherent light. That is what makes it so powerful compared to ordinary light. The photons are all moving in the same direction, at the same frequency, in the same phase. They are unified. Your being works the same way. When your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, your actions, and your deepest truth are all aligned, all coherent, you become like a laser. Your ability to affect reality, to create, to heal, to transform, becomes exponentially more powerful. But when these aspects of your being are in conflict, when you think one thing but feel another, when you say one thing but do another, when your conscious desires contradict your unconscious beliefs, you are like incoherent light, scattered, diffused, canceling yourself out. Awakening is, at its core, a process of increasing coherence, of bringing all the scattered parts of yourself into alignment with your deepest truth. And this is why it requires such thorough dismantling. Because coherence cannot be built on top of incoherence. You cannot align your being around truth while simultaneously carrying lies about who you are. The lies have to go first. The false identities have to dissolve. The inherited beliefs that contradict your authentic nature have to be seen and released. And that dissolution, that clearing out, is exactly what the difficult phase of awakening is accomplishing. Every belief you release that was never yours to begin with increases your coherence. Every emotion you allow to move through you without suppression increases your coherence. Every moment you choose presence over reactivity increases your coherence. And as your coherence increases, your relationship with the quantum field, with the fabric of reality itself, fundamentally changes. You stop being a scattered signal lost in the noise. You become a clear, powerful, intentional presence that the field responds to with increasing precision and beauty. This is not wishful thinking. This is the intersection of quantum physics, neuroscience, and thousands of years of contemplative wisdom, all pointing to the same truth. Consciousness is not a byproduct of matter. Consciousness is fundamental. It is the ground from which matter arises. And when that consciousness becomes coherent, when it aligns with its own deepest nature, reality reorganizes around it in ways that the materialist worldview cannot explain, but that you will experience firsthand as this awakening continues to unfold in your life. While we have explored the observer effect and coherence here today, what we have